一样。来，大家好，欢迎来到我们的网络创业家会客室。我们今天很开心邀请到一位重量级的嘉宾，她不只是两位孩子的妈妈，她曾经是一位 dental technician， 她拥有自己的 dental lab， 现在是一位资深的网络创业教练。
是啊，我今天很开心哦，因为我知道他是dental technician， 因为我自己也是一个 registered dental hygienist 的洗牙师。那我亲眼看到他的这份工作的真实的样貌，在诊所跟 dental lab 之间，他来回奔波，一下要 pick up case， 一下又要 drop off case，然后又要跟 dentist 要讨论他们这个 case， 所以其实这个是一个高度专业又耗时的又压力很大的一个工作。
是的，那我今天其实也非常的激动了，因为这位嘉宾真的是重量级，因为他在这份网络事业呢做了短短的7年，他现在的那个年收入呢已经高达7位数了，大家，所以真的超级的棒。所以呢，现在我们就不浪费时间了，就马上我们请他进来好吗？那我想跟大家说一下的，就是因为我们这位嘉宾呢，他是不会中文的，所以呢，我们接下来的这个访谈呢，将会以英语来交流。好，那I'm going to start. So, hello everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, before we start, let's briefly introduce ourselves, ladies. Okay? So, I'm going to start first. My name is Ying, and I'm originally from Malaysia.And currently, I'm practicing as a licensed physical therapist in the United States. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ying. I'm from Taiwan originally, but I'm now living in Toronto, Canada. I'm a mom of 2. I'm a registered dental hygienist, and I'm being in this field for 15 years.
Hi, I'm Joyce. I'm original from Taiwan, and I live in Vancouver, Canada right now. I'm mom of 3, and then I'm the full-time mom right now.Yes.
So thank you so much, everyone. So we actually know each other from the same business model that we're working on, and we are from the same business community. So today I'm truly excited because our guest today is a very successful online business coach, a mentor who has helped many people build a sustainable online businesses and create a real-time and financial freedom. So she is also someone that I deeply respect.Not only because of her achievements, but because she truly walks the talk and leads with heart and experience and clarity. So please help us give a warm welcome to our special guest today, Coach Karen Nguyen. Yay! Hi, Coach Karen. So happy that you are here today. Thank you so much. We're so grateful.So for those who may be meeting you for the first time today, could you please introduce yourself and share a little about your journey with everyone?
Alrighty, thank you. Well, first off, I'm very excited to be here first time as a guest in an interview with the Mandarin community. Unfortunately, I can't speak Mandarin, so we have to do it in English, and hopefully, there's some translation later. So I'm a mom of 2, currently living in Surrey,BC. So we're just outside of Vancouver. I'm actually very close to where Joyce lived. We've met up for coffee a few times. So prior to this, running this business, I've actually been doing this online business over 7 years now. But prior to that, I heard Lee said something about dental hygienist, and I'm guessing you mentioned me being a dental technician. Yes. So my profession career before this business was a dental technician.And I worked in that field for close to 20 years, 10 years as an employee in a big corporate lab. Then after that, I ventured off and opened my own small dental lab, thinking that being my own boss, I would have time and, freedom and flexibility. But little did I know that was not the case, because once you are a small business, you're doing everything, right? You are the technician, you are the customer service, you are the delivery, you are the, accountant. So I was even more busy, even though I was working from home because I had my lab at home, but I was really never there for my kids. And when my daughter entered high school, that's when I realized, time is not going to wait for me. My kids will not be young forever. And if I don't do anything, I would miss the time with them. So that's when I started looking for ways to, earn money but have more time. And the truth is I couldn't find anything, because anything you do, you're trading time for money. If you're doing anything normal, traditional, go to a job or open a coffee shop, a restaurant, anything. So then I just kind of stay where I was, because I like, there's nothing there, until I came across this online opportunity, which I never thought in a million years I would work online, because trust me, I don't have any technical background or skills. I can barely operate my phone at that time. That's when the smartphone was coming out. Okay. So that was a very big, scary step for me. But I knew that if I don't take this opportunity, I might live with regrets, not having time for my children that, I missed. So being scared, skeptical, I checked it out, and, step by step, I learned the business, I learned the system, and I'm very grateful that it's been working for me for 7 years. So thanks to this business, I was able to actually shut down my dental lab. When I started, always hoping for was a little bit more income, so I can do less work, but overall still have enough to provide for my family. But this business has actually provided for us way, way more than that. So that has allowed me to, like I said, close my dental lab. So now the only thing that I'm working on is this online business. We say full-time. Full-time means it's the only thing that you do to create income for your family. But full-time does not mean 8 hours a day or 16 hours a day like I used to, right? So I'm very grateful for business, and that's why I'm very passionate about sharing this opportunity with moms like myself, because I know all 3 ladies here are moms like me, and I think as mom we all have that same situation, especially for working moms, right? It's between working, providing for your family, and then of course having the time for your children or your family. So that's why I want to share this opportunity, so that as mom, we don't have to choose between our family or our work anymore. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. But thank you, Karen. I want to ask you, like, based on your experience coaching so many entrepreneurs, why do you believe an online business is something people should seriously consider today?
Wow, that's a great question, Joyce. So why I believe that, it's because, we cannot, it's not like before where we can rely on one income anymore. Or even nowadays in most family household, it's both parents need to work to support the family. It's not like before where just the dad work, mom stay at home, and you still have a good life. But now with the cost of living constantly rising and housing is expensive, most family, both parents need to work. And often we're paying for daycare to send our kids to daycare so we can work to earn the money, which it doesn't make sense, but that's just what needs to be done to pay for the cost of living. So why I think it is because what we saw happen back in 2020 with the COVID, right? We've seen that people who's been at jobs for 10, 15, 20, or even close to 30 years thinking they're going to retire in that job. But what happened with that, everything changed. Company was shut down. Company was downsizing. People were getting laid off. People were getting let go because and now they have nothing to fall back on, like no other source of income. So that was really a big wake up call for so many people, and myself included. I was very fortunate that at that time I was already doing this business and I was already generating income, because if I didn't have this business, I don't know how my family would have survived, because the dental lab was our only source of income. But during COVID, the dental industry in Vancouver was shut down for 2 months, right? So dentist office was closed. So no patient go. That means there's no cases for me to do. So no cases means no income, because as a business, if you're not operating, there's no income. I mean, sometimes if you're at a job, if you take vacation, you still get some pay, but only 2 weeks a year or maybe 3, and that's it. So during that time, I had this business, which was still providing income for us during the time we shut down. And that's why I said, that's why it's important now, because we need another source of income. And yes, you can take up another job and have 2 sources of income, but reality is there's only 24 hours in a day, and you can only do so much. And the other thing is your health will not sustain for a long time if you're working constantly like that. And then the second reason is, with the last couple of years, we've seen the advance with AI, with robotics, and we've seen that there are many jobs that are getting replaced by robots or AI. So that's why I feel like the future is in technology and in online, because now, how many of you here with me on screen, or people who are watching, like how many of you do online shopping? I'm sure you've ordered something from Amazon, right? And if you ask yourself 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing, but now it's so normal. Ordering for Amazon is just a normal thing, or even now Uber delivery, Uber Eats, right? Like becoming the norm. And how are we doing that? It's all through online platform. So online is really changing how we live nowadays. So, we shop online, we do banking online, we see the doctor online now too, right? With COVID happened. So I feel like things are moving online, and it's whether we like it or not, that's just the world is moving that direction. Like we've seen a lot, the Industrial Revolution, all of that, things are moving. So, you might be against it now, but maybe 10 years from now, you need to come on board, because, maybe that's the only way. Like maybe you can't just go to the store and order. You need maybe to order online first and just go to the store and pick it up. Maybe that's how it's going to be, and you have to learn. And that's why I think it's important to have it as a backup plan. And why online? Because it's flexible. Because like I said earlier, it was only 24 hours in a day. So if you want to make more money, if you're doing normal work, you have to work more hours. But with this online, because we're leveraging technology such as system automation, so we can still earn a good income, but don't have to sacrifice all of our time. So we've seen the system, how, with like the internet, it doesn't turn off just because you turn off your phone or your laptop, right? Like if right now if it's midnight in Vancouver, we go to sleep. What in Australia is like during the day, people are still online, people are shopping, people are looking. So that's why the business run 24/7. And with the other system is that, you can only talk to so many people at once. But with automation, another example, same thing with Amazon. You know what? Right now, all four of us plus 100 or 1,000 other people can all log into Amazon, place an order all at the same time. That's fine, no problem. But if you go to the store, you need to line up one at a time for checkout, right? So that's why the automation allow us to work smarter and not harder. And I think that's why transition to online is what is really today. So I feel like the people who have the audacity or the courage to step out of their comfort zone and start something online, whether it's our business or something else, I think those are the people that will, they can be more secured in the future, right? They're not struggling because they're already ahead of the game. Because maybe 2, 3, or 5 years later, it's a normal thing and people starting then, but you're already way far ahead.
Wow.
Thank you. Wow, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you say.
So
Karen, as you say, you started this business like 7 years ago. And what made you decide to begin at that time? And then what were some of the challenges you faced in the beginning?
Okay. So I did mention earlier when I shared my story, what inspired me to start was, well, I guess for me, not truly inspired, but the desire for me to start was to have more time with my kids, right? So how do I have more time? Yes, I can decide to shut down my lab, then I would have all the time in the world with my kids. But if I'm not working, that means we have no money either. So we'd be living on the street with all the time in the world, right? So that's not, possible, not really an option. So then I got into this because really, honestly, the bottom line is extra money or extra income, because with the extra income, I can scale down, I can work less in the lab, but we still have enough income to support our family. And what inspired me is that when I joined the community, I saw just ordinary people like me. And I know as a lab owner, it took me over 3 years to build that lab business to have enough income to, have a good, comfortable life. Because in the first couple of years, we made zero money with the business. Not only that, I had to put out over $100,000 to start up my dental lab, right? And then we were living off our savings until we start building our business. And it took 3 years, okay? And then with 3 years, business started to get better, but which means I'm working longer hours to get that income. I was working 12 to 16 hours a day at the lab, almost like 7 days a week. Maybe some week I'll get 1 day off, but most of the time is pretty much 7 days. So then I saw people in the community who was making $15,000, $20,000 a month. And I'm like, how? Because for me, working 16 hours a day, that was how much I was making after you minus all the costs, right? All the cost of the material and all of that stuff. I was making between $15,000 to $20,000 a month in my dental lab. And I was really grateful for that because that's a good, comfortable income to live. And I'm seeing people doing online, not full time. So I was like, I just couldn't understand how is it possible, but it really excited me. It really inspired me. I'm like, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be amazing if I could make that kind of money and not have to work 16 hours a day? So that what inspired me to start. But then once I got inside and I understand the business and I understand how they come up with these numbers, then I realized it's not crazy. It's not out of this world. Right? Because then after that, because when I started the business, the community was only about 1 or 2 years old. So it's still very new. But now we've been around for 9 years. So I've been 7. So when I started, it was about 2. So, but then as the year progressed, we start seeing people hitting $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. So like now you see $100,000 a month. We are not surprised anymore because it's been done by so many people in our community. And I was fortunate. I did hit that 6 figures. So my biggest month in this business was 140,000, which is like I'm thinking, how is that even possible? Because that is like almost like a year's income for like someone.
A lot of people.
Yes, a lot of people, or something with very professional, maybe a high-end accountant or something would make that kind of money. But for someone with just a post-secondary college degree in dental technician was able to do this, but not even full-time, just part-time, because at that time I was still doing my lab. I was still running my lab alongside this business. So yes, it was blowing my mind. So that's one of the reasons. It's like inspired by people who is able to create massive income leveraging the system. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Coach Karen, for sharing that. Wow, that's no. You mentioned earlier, like no matter you like it or not, we all have to learn online. We have to do something online. That make me remind me of my 92 years old grandma. She has to learn iPad. She learned how to use the iPhone. I really admire her. Okay, but we also want to know. We know you guys are a big team, like 2,000, 3,000, even our global community. Looking back on your journey, what do you believe that has been the key factor that truly lead you to where you are today, and how has it changed your life?
Wow, that's a big one. So looking back, you know what? I always say to our leader, our founder, that you know what, Mike, I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up to be a leader. I was just coming into this business, probably like many people, for my own selfish need, guys. Like for my own selfish need is I just want to make some money so I can have more time with my kids. That's all I wanted. And I think, like you're saying, the key to success, I think the key to success, like after being in the business for 7 years, I see the pattern, right? And I see the successful one are the one that have a big why, a big enough reason to overcome their fears, to overcome their doubt, and to put in the time, right? The consistency to keep going despite, because this is building a business. Is not a get rich overnight a success here that we have. So if you're looking for get rich quick, this is not for you. Definitely not for you, right? But I've seen people who put in the time, put in the effort, they start seeing results. And we've seen that. Like yesterday, I was at this recognition ceremony, and someone made it there after 6 years. Maybe it's a long journey for her. Maybe there's a lot going on for her in the 6 years. But we're just saying that if you don't give up, you'll get there. So you have to have that big enough why that will excite you, and that will give you that courage to step out of your comfort zone, do things that you don't want to do, right? So I think that's the number one factor. And the second thing is the mindset that you can do it. Because many of us, when we start out something, if you think that, it's not for me, or I can't be like her, I can't do that, you're already selling yourself short. You already set yourself up for failure. But if you flip it around and say, oh, yes, I can do it, I can succeed, maybe you will be able to do it, but maybe not the same as her, but at least you'll come close. But if you already say, no, I can't, like, I guess you'll just have no chance. So it's the mindset that you can do it. And the last thing is the consistency, because like I said, this is building a business, not getting rich overnight. So you're not going to see results right away. And that's why we see so many people give up or quit, because they think, because they're still in their employee mindset where they think, because being an employee, you work your 2 weeks, 8 hours a week, you get that paycheck every 2 weeks, right? So it's almost instant gratification. You see the results right away. But with a business, that doesn't happen, because for most people starting a business, the first thing you have to do is put money into the business already. And that's scary, because that's the money you don't know if you will recover. So that's already a risk, right? So you have to have the courage to take that risk. And then the second, you have to start building it. And in the first month, 2 months, you're probably going to make zero money. And you still have to put money into your business to keep growing it. And then maybe when you do it enough, you start seeing results. But some people give up before they see the result. So a good analogy is, I can tell you guys, is like you're planting a seed, right? Maybe you're planting an apple tree. Maybe apple tree is long, but maybe some sort of plant. So you put the seed in the ground, you cover it with dirt. Do you see the seed? No, but you know it's there. You still need to water it, put it in the sun. Nothing happens for 2-3 days. Then maybe slowly you see a little, green poking out of the earth. But then things are happening underneath that we cannot see with our eyes, but we know, because maybe we've seen other people plant the seed. We know the process, so we keep watering it until it starts to grow. And even when it starts to grow, you don't get to pick the apple and eat it right away. You got to nurture and wait. And maybe, if it's a mature tree, maybe by summertime, you get to reap the harvest, the fruit, the apple. So it's the same thing with the business. Sometime in the beginning, you're putting in so much effort, but you see no results yet. But maybe one day, all of a sudden, that your business starts to see results. The flower starts to bloom, or the fruit starts to bear. And that's when you reap in your results and your success. So like I said, people give up because they're thinking, I'm watering every day, but nothing happening. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time, right? So it's not, because something is happening underneath. So that's why the consistency and the persistent is important, because most people give up before they start seeing results. So that's why they say the business doesn't work, or it doesn't work for them. Yeah.
Wow. That's so true. This is such an inspiring sharing, Coach Karen. For me, being in this business for a couple of years, that's the biggest things I've learned, actually, the perseverance, which is like, you don't quit on your bad day. You keep going, and we have to change our mindset. So I'm a traditional employee mindset people. So before I started this business, I have really like a different mindset. But since I started, I became like and a growth mindset. I changed my mindset. I become like, I see the challenges nowadays as a opportunity to growth, not something that's kicked me, like shut me down. So this is the thing that I'm really grateful for. One of the, joining this business. So Coach Karen, as a coach, I'm sure you've met like so many people who are curious about starting this online business, right? So what are the most, or even the common reasons or obstacles that stop people from getting started, and what advice would you give them?
Okay. Yes, definitely. Over the years, many. And I think the most common challenge is the fear, is the fear of stopping. Because obviously when you see a share like this, I'm sure you feel very, very inspired. You feel like, oh, wow, that's so amazing. If I can do this business and make that money, my life would be so good. But then you let all the fear, all the doubts get in. Oh no, you're not as pretty as her. Oh, you can't talk like her, or you don't have the time, or you don't have the tech skill, or like you let all these, you're not good enough, and all these fears stop you. And then what if I fail? What will my friends think if I start showing up on Facebook? And like people are gonna judge me. So you let all these doubts, all these fears stop you and hold you back from starting, because you're already picturing the worst case scenario, and that's all you see. For me, that was obviously, I had that same fear too, but my why was bigger. I honestly did have that fear. And every time I had that fear, So one of my fear was in the beginning, like they challenged me to do a go live. Like if you don't know me, I started this business with no Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook account. So I had no idea how to use Facebook. And then I learned, and then my mentor said, okay, let's challenge you to step out your comfort zone and do a go live every day. I'm like, I don't know how. What am I going to say? I was so nervous. So every time I was about to go live, I'll be literally standing with my phone for like at least 10 minutes, like thinking in my head what I'm going to say, and then getting ready to push a button. But then I would chicken out, or I'll push a button and I'll end it and delete. Like I wouldn't say anything. So I would be fighting with myself back and forth because I'm scared. And then the final thing that actually made me push the button, do my go live, is I asked myself, so Karen, what is more painful to you? The pain of, doing this go live, which probably nobody cares really, or whatever, it's not gonna be that bad, or the pain of not being able to spend time with your kids, like another day with your son asking, can we go to the park? And you just have to tell him, sorry, I can't, maybe later or tomorrow, because that's been my story, right? Because I'm always busy working every time. I'm sure your moms are the same thing, we're busy cooking, and then our son's like, oh, mommy, can you play with me? You're like, oh, maybe later or tomorrow, right? But tomorrow something else comes up and you never have time. So I asked myself, what is more painful? So when I think about the look from my son's face, his disappointment, the sadness that I cannot spend time with him, that really hurts me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this because I'm doing this for my son. So that was the one thing that helped for me to overcome. And then the other thing is how we always get in our head with, oh, I'm not good enough. What do people think? I can't do all of that. I go, instead of focusing on what if you're not good enough? What if you cannot succeed? Why not focus and get excited about what if I succeed? What if in 2 years, in a year, I could be making $10,000 a month? How would my life, what would it be like, right? Because all you do is you're giving yourself that opportunity to dream, and dream big. So instead of that, focus on that. And then I also remember my mentor told me one thing, because for me, when I started, I wasn't sure if it's going to work. I've never done it, right? So she told me, Karen, it's going to work. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when, like it's done, but we just don't know when. Maybe in 6 months, maybe in 6 years, but you just know it's done. So because I believe that, I just kept going, because I know that you kept going, you got to get to the end. It's there. I don't know where the end of the tunnel is, but I know if I keep going, I will get out. I will get to the end. So I kept going. It's just that she was so sure this business worked, and because she's seen other people done it, and she's seen how the system works. So it has to be like, you just have no doubt, or you have complete faith that it's gonna work. But the only thing is we don't know when, right? We just don't know when. It's just like when we're pregnant, we know that baby's gonna come without a doubt, 100%, right? It's gonna come, but we just don't know when. The doctors say 9 months, right? But some people have early, like 7 months. Some people maybe a bit longer, like over 9 months, 10 days, right? A little bit slow, delayed. But we know that baby's gonna come. We're not gonna say, oh, I don't want to have this baby. I don't know, it's not gonna come, right? That same thing that you already know, but you just don't know when. So if you have that mindset, knowing that it's gonna happen, but you just don't know when, then you just keep going, and eventually that when will happen. Yeah.
Wow. That was so powerful and inspiring, sharing. Almost call you doctor. Thank you, Coach Karen, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. We are really, really happy and honored that you came here today and sharing your story to us. Thank you. So as our interview come to the end, my friends, I'm sure you can feel this. Success is not something is something that you can actually trace. It's not about luck. It comes from making the right choice over and over again and taking consistent action. If you're asking yourself, could there be another possibility for my life? I encourage you to check out this online business and then give yourself a chance to explore a new direction in 2026. You can reach out to any one of us here to learn more about this business. If you don't wait to be ready, you get ready as you go. Thank you, Coach Karen. Thank you,
Coach Karen.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a nice weekend.
See you next time. Bye.